I woke up at 6 am. I took a quick breakfast and got ready for work. My car was parking in its usual place. I started the engine and took the road in direction of office. I was working as a team manager at my dad's company. Someone knocked on my door. Come, I shouted. I'm sorry to disturb, Mr. Jian. I had a question. Our company's law, Mrs. Kang entered my lodge. It's been a long time since we went out together. How about eating dinner with me? She put an elbow on my desk. Mrs. Kang and I went to the some high school, which is where she felt comfortable, maybe too comfortable around me. We could discuss about my offer. She not my arms. I won't marry you if that's that you are referring to. I sign as I look at thought some papers. Okay, let's just eat out then as friends. She tilted her head. Okay, let me when you finish work. I nodded. And she waved me a satisfaction smile. She left the room and learning the day went by faster than I expected. It was straight to get drunk outside. My door opened and I saw Mrs. Kang standing in front of it. Are you ready to head out? She asked. Yes. Give me a second. I put my suit's jacket and closed everything. I locked my office and leaned us to my car. She sat in a passenger seat and I obviously drove. We went to a luxurious restaurant since she picked the place. I gave my car key to the and we entered the big building. Good evening. Do you have a reservation? The waiters asked us. We have in the name of John Jong-wook. She looked at me over her shoulder. The waiter led us to our table and we sat. We were by the window, allowing us to see the city under us. I admired the view of a bit and focused back on the woman in front of me. It remembered me high school. She laughed lightly. I lifted an eyebrow. You were so popular. I felt like I was not part of your world. I still do. She shook her head. What do you mean? You would always start fights with me. My head. Yeah, because I wanted you to notice me. She smiled and her eyes got closey. She brushed it off with her hand and suggested we should order our meal. The waiters came up and we gave her our demands. The restaurant started to fill up more and I looked at the entire. What I was expecting was to see him there. He looked at my way and then at Mrs. He had dropped it down and he followed a man to a table. I was trying to see where he went by. My colleagues waved her hand in front of my eyes to bring my attention back on her. I blinked a few minutes. You are eating with me, okay? She pointed her finger at me. I nodded awkwardly, not knowing what to say. We mainly discussed business of the day. I wanted to finish this as soon as possible and see what Taehyung was up to. I'll go to the bathroom if you excuse me. I stood up and eyed the room, searching for the boy. I walked between the tables and finally landed my eyes on him. An older man was at the other end, scolding him. Why was he always the victim? I approached them and walked slightly to make them notice my presence. The grumpy older stopped talking and looked at him my way. Excuse me, Taehyung. What are you doing here? I put my hand on his shoulder. I had a great matters I had to talk about with him. He answered. I went to the hair, my fiance answered. Is that okay? I put on my smile and I felt warm recovering my finger. Taehyung put his hand over mine and nodded. Everything is okay. We had some things to figure out. Isn't that true, Mr. Jeho? He smiled. He was searching me. Oh, yeah. He scratched his neck. I didn't know you were gay, Mr. Kim. That's surprise. He laughed, showing his yellow teeth. My gender organization is none of your business. It was silent between us. After that, Taehyung reassured me and I went back to my table. I was worried for nothing. I was shocked by his attitude just then. I didn't know he was like that in public. He was so angry around me. Where were you? I thought you had detached me. Her voice was playful but also followed by a hint of curiosity. I met someone I know. I sat down and finished my food. My phone screen light up and I grabbed it. Can you drive me home? I looked over where he was. He was already looking at me. Of course, I replied shortly. What got you smell like that? She asked. Oh, nothing. I put my phone back in my pocket. I paid the bill and we went out. Taehyung must have had seen me go outside since he joined me a few minutes later. Along, he came by my side and stood close to me. Mrs. Kang eyed him from head to toe, then looked up at me. She smiled and shook her head. We look good together. She hid her smile with her hand. What? No, it's not. I started to justify. Oh, so fun. He's my fiancé, but it's an arranged marriage. I sang and the younger stayed silent. Well, doesn't mean it can't become a real one. You guys look good together. I mean it. Thank you. I bite my lip. I am Kim. Nice to meet you. He stretched his hand out of her to shake, which she did. Well, nice to meet you. I better be invited at the wedding. She joked, or was she serious? She told us goodbye and went her way, leaving us alone together. Do we look good together? Young smiled to himself with dry eyes. Stop it. I rolled my eyes, making him laugh. He seemed better than a few days ago, which was heartwarming to see. I told him to follow me to my car. Jungkook? Yes. I turned my head to observe him. I have a question. He played with the end of his tie. Tell me. I nodded, waiting for him to speak up. Have you found a soulmate? He hesitantly let out, not yet sorry. I leaned into my seat. Don't find one. He smiled halfly. I found why. He let his head rest off his hand. He seemed lost in thought but eventually ended up answering. I thought about it all night. I couldn't see research for the outcome of all of this, but I understood what we couldn't control our parents did, at least not me. He sang, they would probably either kill me or send me in another country. He laughed. Don't say that. You are their son. I put a hand on his forehead, still trying to focus on the road. Can you stop somewhere? I think we need to have a serious talk. He ordered, and I obeyed. He fully turned his body to face me. I did the same and waited in my eyes, following his every move. Well, first I have to admit something only my family know. He hesitated. I nodded. I'm not their son. My eyes funded. I had a hard time to believe him. What do you mean? Who are you? Real parents. I leaned forward. Well, my parents died in a car accident when I was one, so I don't remember them at all. After that, my grandmother obligated my uncle and his wife to adopt me and treat me like their son, to which they were completely against but ended up accepting when she said they would give them money every month. He rolled his eyes. I was lost and needed time to process what he had just said. Okay, I get it now. I pinched the space between my and about us. We started with thoughts about it, and I am going to accept you as my husband. He chewed the inside of his mouth. Why? I placed my hand on the hole, my eyes directed at his chubby face. You seem like a good person. We are not obligated to love each other. Living with a friend would be convenient to, only if you are okay with this, of course. His big brown eyes smiled full of hope. I was okay with marry you from the beginning. I smiled and he took my hand in his. Thank you. Let's get along for now on. He excitedly suggested. Wow, do you have multiple personalities? I treat him to how I am when I started getting comfortable. Deal with it. He potted. I don't mind Taehyung. I ruffled his hair and drove to his house. Once I made sure he was inside, I took the road to my house. We were not living that far from each other. My thoughts were mixed. I remember what the boy said about us getting alone with each other. Obviously, I thought he was nice and I prefer him to marry me instead of living under the same roof as them, but I was hesitant. Could this turn into love, or would it simply feel like I am marrying a friend? I didn't want to dig more into my worries. So, are you going to tell me something, or? She laughed while I stayed silent. Mrs. Kang, I have nothing to tell you. I sang. Oh, stop it. And I thought I had a chance. You should have told me. She shook her head. Tell you what? I told you that we were not getting in a relationship, didn't I? I left it an advo. Yeah, you did, but I thought it was because you found me annoying, not because you were gay or even already had someone. Mrs. Khan, don't you have things to work on? Or do you want me to maybe report your behavior to the surprise? I smiled sadly. Come on, but you are not wrong. I'll go. Good luck with everything. She put in thumbs up and left my office. I closed my eyes. I was tired up and the amount of work I had wasn't helping. I usually like my job, but these days I could only think about other things. After a few hours, I wrapped up everything and went home. As soon as I pressed start the door, my mom caught my arms and dragged me to the living room where my dad was. Son, sit here. He showed me the seat next to him. Yes, Dad. I asked, confused. I assigned you on a business trip. Your flight is tomorrow, so make sure you are ready, he said as if it wasn't a big deal. My father really sent me on business trip, saying that I would be more effective if I was at the company. Where? For how many days? I found Paris for 3 nights. He smiled. I nodded and went to my room. I packed my things and went back downstairs after some time to eat alone. My family wasn't very strict on traditional. They didn't mind me eating alone or talking to them casually, which I was grateful for. I was soaking on my phone when I received a text from Pep. Nothing, why? We wanted to hang out. Where? My place? I'll be there in 30 minutes. Don't be late. I turned off my phone and finished my meal faster than I would normally have. I arrived at and Jimin was already there, lying on the couch. His phone in hand, the oldest stood up to greet me. How are you doing? He took my jacket. Well, I won't stay long. I have a flight tomorrow morning, I told him as I made my way to where Jimmy was. What? Where? The youngest sat up, putting his phone away. Paris. I let myself fall on the couch next to him and closed my eyes for a brief moment. Why? He scuttled closer as his curiosity was growing. Business, he nodded and went back to his old position. I I took my luggage and went outside to see the driver waiting in front of the front door. He took my suitcase and put it in the trunk. I sat at the back and we were off to the airport. It was still night, the moon was still there. It was around 4 am. My eyes were having a hard time to staying open. Just as I was about to fall asleep, the car stopped. I got ready to exit the vehicles, but I stopped when I realized we were not at the airport. What are we doing here? I asked the driver. Your father demands. He waited for a bit and went outside when he saw someone approach the car. I looked through the window and saw the short guy with messy hair, his cheeks grown when he smiled at the driver. My eyes winded. Was I dreaming? Maybe I had actually fallen asleep. Taehyung frozen when he held the door handle. Our gaze met and I still had a confused look on my face. He ended up opening the door and slowly sat down next to me. Why are you here? My eyebrows were well. I could ask you the same question. He smiled and took off his scarf. I'm going on a business trip. Wait, am I? I saw the man in front of us. Small thought rearview mirror. Did you get planned this? I asked him already knowing the answer. He nodded. I signed. The one next to me bit his lips and nodded as he was there to understand the situation. Oh, so we are having a honeymoon trip without even being married. Yay. He looked at his lips and scratching his knee. I'm sorry. I didn't know these were doing this really. If you don't like me being with you, we can still cancel the plane tickets. He started to speak a little too fast. I stopped him by holding his hand. I shook my head and said no. I saw his shoulders relax and his cheeks up and down start to slow down. I don't hate it. I mean, it can be fun. I needed vacation. I pushed my hair back. Let's just say it's a trip between friends. Yeah, I smiled to reassure him and he nodded, returning my smile. We arrived at the airport. I took both our luggage and we had to the both of register them since we had first class seat. It was quiet. We gave them our suitcase and had to pass through many security systems before actually entering the main part of the airport. where all the luxurious stores were. I noticed Taehyung stopping in front of a truck, almost strolling over the street in front of him. I smiled at the sign and lightly put my hand on his back to let him in the little store. As soon as we entered, the smell of chocolate admired and warm feeling enveloped me. The hung was already picking boxes placed on the shelf. I enjoyed him and took a look of what he was holding. He hummed happily and went to the counter to pay, but it felt wrong, so I quickly took out my credit card and paid even before he had taken out his wallet. He looked at me with wide eyes, which quickly turned into cute anger. "Where did you pay?" he raising his eyebrow, his wallet not in his hand. "How much was it? I'll pay you back." He handed me cash and I pushed it away as I took the bag the lady was handing us. "Come on, let me pay it back." He put the cash in my pocket, but I quickly gave it back. We stopped speaking when we heard the cashier laugh softly. "You are lucky to have a lover that cares for you like this, young man." She smiled and we stood here for a few seconds, but eventually Taehyung decided to respond. "Oh, thank you." He had his face by looking at the floor. I took his state an opportunity to take him by the hand and drag him out of the store. "Have a good day," the old lady grunted, and I noticed after to return her gesture. We sat down at the table and I placed one of the boxes between us. He slowly opened it and took on into his mouth. "How is it?" I asked, not curious about the taste. "It's perfect," he happily and advised me to take one too. I did a store I couldn't disagree even if I didn't like chocolate much. This one was practically good, probably because we brought in front of a chocolate. We had on 4 left before the gates opened and our flight. We did some shopping. Taehyung went his way to one point, so I did at same until something caught my attention. "What is that?" I tried to peek inside one of the bags he was holding, but he quickly pulled it away, making me even more curious. "Can't I see?" I raised one eyebrow. "No, it's personal," he firmly answered. I chose not to ask any more questions. The first class were getting in the plane first, so we settled in our seat early. We managed to pull all our items in a overhead locker. "I never went to Paris," Taehyung said, his eyes fixed on mine. "Me neither, actually." I smiled. The boy next to me did the same and nodded. We sat in silence for the first part of the trip. I was writing a report on my computer and Taehyung was listening to some podcast he had downloaded beforehand. Once the food came, we both turned off the drivers. During the house left, we just decided to play a game on the seatback's screen. "I bet you again," he nodded my shoulders and I caught his head to tickle him. He was begging me to stop. I put a finger on his mouth to indicate him that he was being too loud. A smirk on my face. I finally stopped and Taehyung had a little tears in the corner of his eyes. He wiped them off, still catching his breath. "Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is the only room you booked and we don't have any other room at the moment." She looked at her computer and gave us an apologetic smile. It's okay, can we have a separate bed? I asked, hoping to get a positive answer. Yeah, we can do that. She smiled and called someone to explain the situation. Taehyung was just standing next to me, observing the lobby of hotel we were staying at. It was big and luxurious. He seemed amazing by the place of the once everything was settled. A young man took our luggage and invited us to follow him to our room, which we did. I was a bit surprised as my parents' action is sending us to another country alone was one thing, but only booking one room with the kind sized king size bed seems a bit worried. Once we reached the door, the man who helped us to give us the key and left after wishing us a good stay. We entered the room and everything was neat, clean. The walls were white, and since the big window let the of sun the room, they were seeing the balcony of a view directly on the Eiffel Tower. It was beautiful, and oh my god, Jungkook, it's so pretty. The sun was setting slowly and the sky was painted with the soft red. I put down our suitcase and the shopping bag from the airport. Taehyung stayed on the balcony for a few minutes before turning around with a smile on his face. I like it. He enjoyed me in front of the little fridge. I was holding the menu they had left on the wooden shelf on top of it. Breakfast is at 10 tomorrow, isn't it a bit late? I wondered. Maybe that's how it is here. He opened the door of the bathroom and the bathrobe came into view. I followed Taehyung in his step and discovered the rest of it. Do you want to take a shower before we go out? I asked. We are going out. He was reading the play on the little bottle that were placed on the sink. I mean, we can stay here if you want to. I hesitated, not knowing what he wanted. No, let's visit Paris. His cheeky smile me and I let him alone so he could take a shower. I sat on the bed. It was more than enough for two people, but I felt like we were not that close yet to be sleeping together. So I wish the other bed would come by the time we came back. I was scrolling through my email, responding to a few of them and simply deleted other ones. I was too focused, but the sudden sound of the door handle catch my attention. Taehyung got out, a towel around his little waist. I looked at her for a few seconds before turning my head the other way. Oh, come on. He laughed and I looked back to where he was. The younger turned around to take clothes from his suitcase that was by the bed. Doesn't it make you uncomfortable? I picked at his abs unconsciously. What a few drops were falling from his hair that I see your body. I raised an eyebrow. You are going to be my husband, so I don't know. I don't feel uncomfortable to say the latest. He murmured while choosing an outfit for tonight. I nodded in response and closed my laptop so I could look at him. His body was well built. His shoulders were broad but his waist so little. His arms were lean but muscular and his abs were completing his tiny waist perfect. Jungkook, I can see you watching. He smirked and I quickly averted my eyes, my shoulders and went to the bathroom to take a shower. Please, 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 he begged and I sang, Taehyung, eating so much is bad for your health. The youngest was looking at me with those eyes. The box of is his left, and I entered at glance inside. Couldn't rest his cute case. Thanks, I paid and we got out of the store. We didn't really know where we were going, but it was more fun that way. We got to discover many things such as the rock and carry. It was the start of autumn, so the weather was perfect. Even if it was at night, it wasn't too cold. We took many photos to make memories. Taehyung is particular, but his phone in hand all alone, ready to fill his phone with pictures. This is the best night ever. The like boy smiled his eyes under the at night. We were on a bridge, simple, admiring the view in front of us. Do you think jumping from here would kill you? He looked down at the dark water under us. Probably the water would be impossible to swim in. I raised my shoulders. His eyes never quitting the river. Wait, you are not thinking about it, are you? I started to worry. No, I mean not anymore, at least. His eyes were holding back tears and his ear after turning his head so I couldn't see. I was not sure how to react. I feel like we had grown much closer very quickly and it screamed me without getting lost in useless thoughts and popped my arms around him. He got but didn't pull away. It took him a few seconds to wrap his arm around me. In return, we still like this for a whole minute before Taehyung pulled away. Thank you. He put a hand on my shoulder. He wasn't smile, but I could still see that he was grateful. Taehyung held every emotion in his eyes. If you know how to read him, you probably wouldn't even have to talk anymore. Since it was so obvious it was for me, are you serious? She laughed and pointing at me. I was standing next to the mattress they brought into our room. It was small and low and looked so next to the king size bed. Come on, this big is bed is big enough for two. He pulled me by the arms and dragged me. I don't think it's a good idea, Taehyung. He stopped and looked at me with eyes full of concern. Wait, are you uncomfortable sleeping in the same bed as me? I didn't think about it. Sorry. He let go of me and went to his previous place. Are you sleeping? I heard him whisper, no, why? I turned around to see him and my smile so bad. Can I be honest? He asked, obviously anxious. Please be. I saw him, his finger and picking at his nails. He waited a few minutes before admitting, you are nice. I'm happy I met you. He quickly turned around. My heart was beating fast, both from his sentence and the way he looked. His hair looked so soft and his face so sweet. I was scared what could happen next. Taehyung? Yes. I suddenly joined him on the large bed and observed him while he stayed frozen from the sudden proximity. Can I be honest too? I asked. He nodded and I inhaled before speaking. First, I want you to know this trip is not a burden for me and never was. Second, being here with you is pretty much enjoyable and I love it so far. He mumbled along my phrases to show me that he was listening. We met 2 weeks ago and it felt like years. I was about the idea of getting married to a stranger. I was all ready to accept what my parents had prepared for me, but I never thought that my future husband would be someone I actually appreciate being with. I admit too deep in my narrative to stop. Jungkook, you don't need. He interpreted it. Wait, let me finish. I have always been quiet and reserved, even as a kid. I never fall in love. I just know I like boy, and even admitting that to myself was hard and slow. I'm not the type of to say things to please others. I'm not searching for non-form. I do not care how others me, but with you, I want to care. I want you to appreciate me and continue to stay by my side. I close my eyes and lie on my bed. When I read speaker in college, I thought to myself, how can you feel in love after meeting once? And I used to think it was done, but now I get it. I didn't believe in soulmates, but maybe after meeting you, I'll give it a try. I turned around and was surprised by that was in front of me. Taehyung had his eyes widen and tears rolling down his nose and landing on the pillow. His lips were parted and a heavy breathing could be heard. He blinked a few times and clapped, his cheek getting more and more red by the second. Do you think we are soulmates? Do you truly believe it? He replied, I don't believe in soulmates, but you feel like the missing piece of the puzzle I always struggle to put a hand on. I wiped his tears and let my hands rest on his cheeks. The warmth of his cheeks mixed with mine, the grabbed by the weight under his face in my neck. His slow but tragic breathing was brushing my skin. My hand went from his face to his hair. I pressed him until he actually fell asleep in my arms. I couldn't believe it at all. I still had that feeling of the sadness I felt when he cried in front of me, begging me to find a way to cancel the wedding when he tried to go against his parents just because he didn't want to marry me. All of this felt so far away, but at the same time so close. The concept of the time couldn't take into consideration in his case because it had nothing to do with it. I had understood since our case met for the first time. Kim Taehyung was a difficult person, hard to understood, and his feelings were not always clear even for him. But I wanted to discover the way of entering his heart either way, even if it took me month of year. I just wanted to protect him and give him the love he deserved. Selflessness was what I think it was, but in fact the emotion I felt at the moment were hurting me. But if it was what I took in happiness, then I could surprise it because it was from him. My thoughts were straight to getting blurry. They quickly took advantage of me and I fell asleep, my head still in the younger's hair. I woke up with the sun shining. The something was missing. I looked at my right and noticed that Taehyung was no longer in bed. I quickly sat up but slowed down when I heard the water running from the bathroom. I stretched and pressed a hand through my hair, waiting for Taehyung to finish his shower so I could use the bathroom. The noise stopped and the door opened, revolving the same view as yesterday. He was drying his hair, a towel in his left hand. When our eyes met, his eyes flashed up and down before a smile discovered his pretty face. Slept well? He asked, coming closer. You? I looked at my hand too, avoiding looking at his body like the day before. I had a wonderful night. He sat down next to me, his towel side down off his knee. More skin was showing, which made me stand up faster than I imagined. I went to the bathroom and locked the door.